Whether you're looking for a great deal on a meal for the whole family or you just need to grab a quick lunch in Disney World, you don't want to end up with bad food. It's not worth it. It costs too much. Today, we're listing the best counter service meals in all of Disney World for 2021. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. As you know, Disney World has hundreds of restaurants, and if you're just looking for a quick meal from a counter service spot, which also means fast food by the way in Disney speak, you might not want to spend hours researching which restaurants have the best food. These are supposed to be your fast, no fuss meals, but you still don't want to get stuck with a plate of inedible food or a hangry family who are not feeling anything on that menu. We've eaten everywhere. We know the good and the bad. We've had the hangry family. We've had the inedible food. And today, we're only telling you about the best of the best. By the way, don't worry about taking notes. We've already written up the full list of Disney World's best counter service restaurants, and you can get that list over at disneyfoodblog.com/counterservice2021. Just drop us your email and we'll send the list straight to your inbox, and we'll sign you up for our totally free newsletter if you're not already a subscriber. We send out newsletters nearly every single day, so you will always be up to date on the latest Disney news leading up to your next trip. Once again, that's disneyfoodblog.com/counterservice2021. All right, we're going to start in the parks. We're going to Magic Kingdom. And the first restaurant we're going to talk about is Columbia Harbour House. Columbia Harbour House is in Liberty Square. It's long been a DFB favorite restaurant in Magic Kingdom. We know you guys love it too. The menu offers some healthier options like grilled salmon or shrimp, plus the fan favorite vegetarian lighthouse sandwich, along with fried seafood and chicken nuggets. This is also a great location for some quick R&R while you dine. There's an entire upstairs that few people know about, so you can usually find a table up there and you'll have some room to stretch out. Columbia Harbour House is currently closed, though stay tuned to our newsletter to see when it reopens. It does feel like things are changing awfully quickly in Disney World these days. Now, if you're craving a lobster roll or the fried fish platter, you can get a limited version of the Columbia Harbour House menu at Tomorrowland Terrace over in Tomorrowland. You won't get any AC because all the seating's outdoors, but you'll get a great view of Cinderella Castle and some pretty tasty hush puppies and one of our favorite desserts at fast food restaurants in Disney World, which is that mini chocolate chip cookie lava cake situation. That thing is delicious. All right, next on our list from Magic Kingdom is Pecos Bill. This is officially called Pecos Bill Tall Tale Inn and Cafe. It's in Frontierland and it has more exotic eats than you'll find at most counter service restaurants in Magic Kingdom, but the menu is still very accessible. And when we say exotic in Disney World, by the way, that doesn't really mean much. It just sort of means not a burger. The menu does offer cheeseburgers, but you'll also find Tex-Mex dishes like a fajita platter, chicken and rice bowls, and carnitas nachos. And it actually does say carnitas instead of pulled pork, so how about that? The meals here are a little bit cheaper than the other same category restaurants across the parks, and portions are solid. Most people enjoy the food here, and there are plenty of different choices to please a lot of different folks. Next in Magic Kingdom, we're going to talk about Sleepy Hollow. This is just at the entrance to Liberty Square by the castle and has some of the best snacks in the park, including those waffle sandwiches. The fresh fruit waffle comes with strawberries, blueberries, banana, and Nutella. It makes a great breakfast. And if you're looking for a quick lunch or dinner, grab the fried chicken and waffle sandwich that comes with broccoli slaw and honey sriracha glaze. This was here before chicken and waffles and honey sriracha glaze was even like hip. So they were definitely ahead of the trend, which is hard to find in Disney World. Now, the menu is fairly limited. You'll also find funnel cake, hand-dipped corn dogs, turkey legs, plus Mickey waffles in the morning. Now, keep an eye on what time certain items are available, particularly that fresh fruit waffle. Some items are only available before 11 a.m. or later in the evening. So you got a mobile order anyway. So take a look at that mobile order menu before you go to Disney World so you know kind of when that stuff is available. I got burned recently trying to get a particular item from a particular restaurant in Hollywood Studios, and it closed at 4:30 and I didn't get there till 5:30. And I didn't know that. So be sure to check those mobile order menus and check the times before you go. Now, one more thing about Sleepy Hollow. There is not a lot of seating, and whatever seating there is outdoors. This is more of a kiosk than a restaurant. So if you want to eat at Sleepy Hollow, just be prepared to be sitting outside. All right, Friar's Nook. That's the next one we're going to talk about in Magic Kingdom. This is in Fantasyland. It's also a bit of a kiosk, kind of a walk-up window. And it's going to be your stop for kid-friendly foods in Magic Kingdom, mac and cheese, loaded tater tot bowls, hot dogs topped with buffalo chicken and mac and cheese. This is carb heaven and the spot to grab a hot dog while we await the reopening of Casey's Corner. This spot switches up the menu often, so you never really know what you may find here, but there's always something tasty, and usually it's tater tot and bratwurst related. Seating is limited. It is all outdoors as well. It's a very similar situation to Sleepy Hollow, so this might not be the best pick if you're going to grab lunch in the middle of the day when it's hot or if rain is predicted and the park is very crowded. All right, next up is Casey's Corner. Have to give an honorable mention to Casey's on Main Street because one day it will reopen, and it has long been one of my favorite places to grab a quick meal in the park. For now, you can get corn dog nuggets at Westward Ho, a kiosk in Frontierland, or at Pecos Bill, depending on the time of day. But when Casey's does open, that's where you're going to get your hot dog meals. And Aloha Isle in Adventureland also gets an honorable mention there in Magic Kingdom. It's just Dole Whip and Dole Whip floats at this counter service, so you won't get too much of a meal here. But did you even go to Magic Kingdom if you didn't get a Dole Whip? The Kakamora float and pineapple upside down cake, when that one returns, are some of our favorites here, and you can only get them at Aloha Isle. All right, headed into Epcot, we're going to start with Sunshine Seasons. You're going to end up near this fast food restaurant in Epcot if you have any plans to ride Soarin'. The restaurant and ride are located inside the Land Pavilion, and you cannot miss it. This means a lot of people eat there. There are lots and lots of options, healthy choices, great vegetarian dishes, rotisserie chicken, burgers. There's something for everyone. There's a ton of seating here as well. It's all indoors, so you've got AC and room to relax. Don't forget, though, you do have to mobile order. If you've been to Sunshine Seasons before, you know it's kind of a cafeteria setup. Not anymore. Now you're going to mobile order, and then you're going to go pick up your meal. Over in the Epcot France Pavilion is Regal Boulangerie Patisserie. This is always at the top of our Epcot food lists, and you're going to find Regal at the very back of the France Pavilion. If you're looking for amazing pastries and desserts, this is where you need to go, but you'll also find plenty of savory options too. Lobster bisque in a bread bowl, ham and cheese sandwiches on fresh baked baguettes, savory pastries. You've got options here, and all of it comes with a very reasonable price tag. Seating can be a little tough as this place is popular and there's only a small indoor seating area and a few tables outside, but the crowds should clue you in that this is good food. Definitely go at non-meal times. All right, we're going to talk about Regal Eagle Smokehouse. This is in the American Adventure Pavilion. It's one of Epcot's newest restaurants, and it's one of the best deals in the park. All the entrees, including a smoked half chicken, beef brisket sandwich, and barbecue burger, come served with a side, and you have more options than just fries. Regal Eagle also has beer-battered onion rings, creamy coleslaw, macaroni and cheese, baked beans with burnt ends. Well, it's not the most amazing barbecue you've ever had, and it's not even the most amazing barbecue in Disney World. It's pretty darn good, and the portion sizes are decent. There's plenty of indoor and outdoor seating here, and some fantastic cocktails at the walk-up bar. The restaurant that used to be in the America Pavilion wasn't the best, if you guys remember Liberty Inn, RIP, but Regal Eagle is definitely worth a visit. Now, next up, we're including La Cantina de San Angel in the Mexico Pavilion because it nearly won our best counter service bracket as voted on by our Instagram followers. I would not have guessed that it would win, but alas, it almost did. There are some pretty solid Mexican dishes here like tacos, empanadas, and nachos, but the seating is all outdoors, so it won't be your best bet on a super hot summer day. It's also a very popular location. It's often the first counter service restaurant people get to when they go to World Showcase, and World Showcase opens at 11, and so they're hungry and they go right there. So it's often real crowded all day. Now, you do get a great view of World Showcase Lagoon from the seating area here, so it's a good spot to stake out for the fireworks, but again, it's going to be busy. Now, here's a teeny tiny location that we have to tell you about, the fish and chips kiosk at the UK Pavilion. It's called the Yorkshire County Fish Shop. It may have a small menu, but everything on that menu is good and filling and has a decent price range. The fish and chips are cheaper here than inside at the Rose and Crown Pub, but you might get a similar portion. That's a pro tip for those of you looking to grab a drink at the bar, but you'd also like a snack. So grab that drink and head next door to the Chippy to save a few bucks. Seating here is pretty minimal, and it's all outdoors as well. Now, Epcot has two honorable mentions here. First up is the brand new gelato kiosk, Gelateria Toscana in the Italy Pavilion. This one has lots of flavors of gelato and sorbet, gelato floats, and other desserts like tiramisu and zeppoli. It's not a meal, just dessert and kind of pricey, but worth a stop if you love cannoli. They have one of the best cannoli in Disney World. And then another honorable mention goes to Tangierine Cafe in the Morocco Pavilion. This has long been a favorite stop for lots of guests in Epcot looking for a healthy and tasty meal. The counter service restaurant is currently closed. We're not sure what the menu will be like when it finally does reopen, as Disney has taken over the operation from a third-party company that had previously run all the restaurants in this pavilion. So when Tangierine does reopen, which we hope it will, we will keep you updated. All right, moving over to Hollywood Studios, we're going to talk about ABC Commissary first, which is shocking to me because ABC Commissary has always kind of been low on my list at Hollywood Studios, which just goes to show things absolutely change in Disney World. And as I always say, the only thing that's consistent about Disney World restaurants is that they're inconsistent. Now, the menu at ABC Commissary and Hollywood Studios has gotten a remarkably better menu in the past year or so. You're not going to find boring theme park food here anymore. Instead, it's curry shrimp bowls, pork carnitas tacos, and fresh salads. The entree prices are around $10 to $12, which is a decent value considering the portions are pretty generous. This used to be a restaurant we didn't recommend too highly, like I said, but now it's one of our top picks in the park. Keep an eye on the hours for ABC, though. Right now it's only open until 4:30. Moving over to Backlot Express, this ties with ABC Commissary for us here at DFE as one of the best quick meals in Hollywood Studios, and it really just depends on what menu you like better. There's lots of seating indoors and outdoors here at Backlot, and while the ambiance doesn't look like much, there's a lot to explore, and this restaurant has some serious theming, even if the Backlot storage warehouse vibe isn't super obvious. I think a lot of people probably spend an entire meal in this location not really understanding what it's supposed to be and what it's supposed to mean. So again, another shout out to the Imagineers for sort of taking a risk with this restaurant. Now on the menu, you've got the Wookiee Cookie, which is an oatmeal cream pie that is one of the best cookie sandwiches in Disney World. And there's a standard burger and chicken nugget menu here, though they have some more unique options that are worth checking out, like the Cuban sandwich. So this is definitely going to be your choice if you have some pickier eaters or you're looking for more of a standard theme park menu. And ABC Commissary is a good choice if you're looking for something a little more unique. Next on our list in Hollywood Studios is Ronto Roasters. You guys know we love the Ronto wrap at Ronto Roasters in Galaxy's Edge, so of course it's making the list of best counter service restaurants in Hollywood Studios. The breakfast wrap here is super yummy, and they just added some plant-based wraps for both breakfast and lunch. The lunch wrap with chickpeas is really delicious, and even if you're a meat eater, you might want to give it a try, though nothing beats the original in our opinion. The menu is limited here, just those wraps and a few spacey snacks like Gulma sampler that pairs plantain chips and pork grinds. Check hours though, Ronto Roasters has been closing early, but DFB tip, you can get the Ronto wrap at Docking Bay 7 after Ronto Roasters is closed. Now, speaking of Docking Bay 7, this one is just next to Ronto Roasters in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and serves up a few more and more substantial dishes than Ronto. It's not necessarily the best for picky eaters, but lots of people really love this one. You'll find pot roast, pork ribs, and fried chicken, but they'll all be served kind of oddly. The chicken is a brick of chicken, kind of like a rectangular brick of fried chicken, in an effort to look like something you might get if you were on a planet in a galaxy far, far away, which you are, because you're in Batu. But this is a great spot for vegetarian eats. The Felucian garden spread is real tasty and filling, and kids can get pasta with marinara sauce. Always good to know where you can get pasta for the kiddos in a pinch. And lastly, in Hollywood Studios, we're going to head over to Woody's Lunchbox in Toy Story Land. And it may seriously lack some seating. It totally does. And you might have a really hard time actually ordering food here. Yeah, but if you can get your order in and get a seat, you're probably going to have a decent meal. Those are two big caveats, which is why this isn't at the top of our list in Hollywood Studios, but they still have some good food and some unique options. Lunchbox tarts are a great grab. They're basically fancy Pop-Tarts, but they're good for breakfast, and of course the grilled cheese here is amazing. The smoked turkey sandwich and barbecue brisket melt are crowd pleasers as well, but this is where you're going to find tachos, which is tater tots topped with beef and bean chili, shredded cheese, signature queso, tomatoes, corn chips, sour cream, and green onions. Heads up, the tater tots here are baked, they are not fried, so they're not going to be the same kind of texture as you're used to with tater tots, but they are gluten-free, which is a great option for lots of folks. Now, this is another good value restaurant as the menu is priced pretty reasonably for what you get, but again, no seating, and it may be hard to find a mobile order pickup window here. So if you want to eat at Woody's, definitely order early. All right, heading over to Animal Kingdom, we're going to start, of course, at Satu'li Canteen. Satu'li in Pandora is the best counter service restaurant in Animal Kingdom, pretty much hands down these days. Good portions, customizable options, cheeseburger pods, you can't go wrong. By the way, cheeseburger pods are like if you took the best parts of a McDonald's cheeseburger and stuffed them into a pillowy bao bun. That's exactly what cheeseburger pods are. Even I like them, and I am a super picky eater. You also won't find typical theme park fare here. Instead, it's customizable bowls, kind of like Disney's version of Chipotle. And the bowls are a good size. You could definitely split one of these if you're not a big eater, and they only cost $12 to $16 each depending on your protein choice. So they're a pretty good deal. Next, of course, we're going to Flame Tree Barbecue. The barbecue pulled pork fries may still be missing from the menu at the moment, but there are still plenty of great options for a snack or a full meal at this restaurant on Discovery Island. Platters are big, they've got great salads if you're looking for something lighter, and you will get a lot of food for your money here. That ribs and chicken combo can easily be split between 2 people, and most of the items on the menu come served with sides. And if you're craving those fries, know that you can still fill that carb need with the baked mac and cheese topped with pulled pork and an onion ring. You will only find outdoor seating here, but it is beautiful seating, and you can get a great spot right on the water to watch the characters float by. Okay, time for Restaurantosaurus. You know I'm not going to do a video about counter service dining without talking about Restaurantosaurus. This isn't Dinoland. It is the spot for picky eaters and me. AJ. I love this restaurant. Here you're going to find what you might expect at a theme park. Burgers, chicken nuggets, hot dogs. This place used to serve McDonald's food. Yeah, actual McDonald's food. And things haven't changed too much over the years, which is great news if you have a kid that will only eat chicken nuggets and you need a break and some AC. It's not open past 5 p.m. at the moment. They previously had a burger and Sunday dinner that was an awesome deal and a fun dinner. We'd love to see that come back when the park hours get extended a bit. But my favorite thing about Restaurantosaurus is the theming. It is a haphazard, super weird, quintessentially Joe Rohde theme where you've got archaeology students living here and doing their archaeology digs nearby. And if you walk around, you'll kind of see what mark they've put on their living circumstances. It's fascinating to walk around this restaurant. I just love it. Anyway, if you don't have time to randomly walk around a counter service restaurant for an hour when you're at Disney World, I totally get it. But if you do, it might be worth it. All right, next in Animal Kingdom, Harambe Market. Harambe Market in the Africa section of Animal Kingdom is where you want to go if you've got some foodies in your group who are looking for something a little more exotic. This spot has some more unique dishes like curry that you wouldn't expect to find at a counter service restaurant in a theme park, although you're starting to see it more and more often these days. Harambe Market is often overlooked in Animal Kingdom thanks to the more popular choices like Flame Tree and Satuli, but we definitely think you should stop here if you get the chance. The food is a lot of flavor and you'll leave feeling full and satisfied, though this is another location that only has outdoor seating, so it might not be best if it's hot or raining. And finally, in Animal Kingdom, we're going to talk about Yak and Yeti local food cafes. This is an honorable mention, but I really do love this restaurant. It's in the Asia section of the park, and again, all outdoor seating, but some tasty and unique options here and really decent prices. The chicken fried rice is a great deal. It's only $5.99. It's a full Chinese takeout container, full. And this is where you can get those delicious mini mango pies as well, though FYI, you can get them in your grocery store. They're just Kenny's, and if you find Kenny's little pies in your grocery store, it's the same thing. All right, of course, we're not going to stop at just the parks. We got to help you out all the way, so we're going to resorts. Starting with Captain Cook's. There's plenty of great food at Disney's hotels, but we've narrowed it down to just 5 of the absolute best counter service restaurants in the hotels. Captain Cook's is at the Polynesian Village Resort. The pork nachos here are a must get, and the Polynesian is a must visit. You really can't go wrong with most things on the menu at Captain Cook's. The chicken wings are delicious, plus they have burgers and those teriyaki noodles. You can also grab Dole Whip at Pineapple Lanai just outside. Contempo Cafe across Seven Seas Lagoon at the Contemporary Resort. This is the counter service restaurant there at the Contemporary. They have a great simple menu with stuff that will please everyone, including picky eaters and those on special diets. It's easy to get to, just a quick 5-minute walk from the Magic Kingdom, and you can get one of my favorite desserts of all time, the peanut butter pie. Now let's talk about Roaring Fork. This is over at Wilderness Lodge, and it's got hearty, well-priced options. This chicken and waffles are served all day. They are so good. Or the new lumberjack platter with some tasty pulled pork topped mac and cheese. They also have typically great cupcakes and desserts here as well, so even if you need to take a boat from Magic Kingdom to try the food here, it might be worth it. Next up, the Mara at Animal Kingdom Lodge Jumbo House. Even though the resort isn't fully open yet, this restaurant is still churning out some amazing, amazing food. You'll also find some healthier and more unique options here. The menu often features African-inspired dishes, and we'll look for any reason to visit Animal Kingdom Lodge. Check the hours before you go, though. Dinner has been added, but since the resort is still not fully open, things could change. And we got to talk about Scat Cat's Club. This counter service restaurant at Port Orleans French Quarter is still closed along with the resort, but this is where you get Mickey beignets and boozy beignets, by the way. Those are beignets with alcohol inside. Now, the menu is small, though there are some savory appetizers too, but you came for those beignets. At night, before the park closures, they would have live jazz music here too, so hopefully that returns as well. And headed over to Disney Springs, first up we're going to talk about Chicken Guy. This is one of my favorite restaurants in all of Disney World. I know exactly what you're thinking, but I swear it is so worth it. Chicken Guy is simple but amazing. Chicken tenders or grilled chicken with almost 30 different dipping sauces, plus salads, awesome mac and cheese. Everything here is good, and it's absolutely decently priced. It's a Guy Fieri helmed restaurant, and it seriously delivers. I hope he hears this someday. Guy, if you hear this, how much is a box full of buffalo sauce? I would like to purchase that. Okay, moving on to Polite Pig. Now, we've mentioned a few barbecue restaurants, but this is probably one of the best barbecue restaurants in Disney World, and it is helmed by local Orlando restaurateurs James and Julie Petrakis, who of course are famous for many restaurants, including Cask and Larder and Ravenous Pig, which is a Orlando foodie scene staple. Now, chef specials pop up often here and are typically great, plus the regular menu is very good. This is the original home of Gideon's Cookies in Disney Springs, those massive half-pound cookies, though now you can get them at their own storefront in Disney Springs. All right, heading over to Morimoto Asia, we're going to talk about Morimoto Asia street food. Now, Morimoto Asia is one of my favorite restaurants in Disney World, but if you don't have time for a fine dining sit-down meal, you can grab some iconic dishes from the restaurant outside at the grab-and-go window for much, much cheaper. You'll find ramen options and those amazing Masaharu Morimoto delicious spare ribs. There is limited seating here, though, so if it's busy, you may have a hard time grabbing a seat. All right, let's talk Blaze Pizza. You might have a Blaze Pizza at home, but people love this pizza spot with customizable options. It's basically a Subway sandwich place, except pizza. And there's plenty of keto and gluten-free friendly pizza options as well. For a little more than $10, you get an entire pizza to yourself with as many toppings as you like, and it's totally customized. This is an easy crowd pleaser for a group. There's sure to be something for just about everyone here, and that's why it's always busy. And last but not least, Cooks of Dublin. This is the small counter service counterpart to Raglan Road. They have amazing fish and chips along with other Irish dishes and some seriously good burgers. There's very limited seating here though, so you might need to dine at an off time to grab a seat indoors. There are just a couple of seats outdoors too, so this may be one that you need to grab and go. Now, this list should help you narrow down your choices for quick meals in the parks. Any restaurant we've mentioned in this video is going to be a great bet, but if you have the time, go ahead and check out those menus before your visit to narrow things down even more. And remember, you can get this full list by heading to disneyfoodblog.com/counterservice2021. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for watching. Be sure to let us know your favorite counter service and fast food locations in Disney World in the comments. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.